Hey everybody! So I came across a circumstance today and I had to make a video of it. And I'm going to show you real quick. See this right here? Those are high voltage power lines, the main line. So I'm going to be cutting right up against the edge of that. And it's something I've been asked a lot of because, there's people out there. Just recently had a guy with a farm tractor, a bulldozer, backhoe. They were scared to go underneath of those lines. Now, yes, they're 11,000, 10,000 volts, whatever they run. You can ask your local power commission for that. But it's always safe to know that before you go under them. But those are put high for a reason. Now, there is usually a road or anything like that. And the power commission will usually come in with things like excavators, bush hogs, things like that, and keep the bushes down underneath the power lines. There's also a distance from each power line that will keep me away from that power line. Now, there is a threat of dropping a power line or dropping a tree onto the power line. So if I'm cutting against you can see right here, I have my wood piled right here. So if I'm following a tree here and I follow it the other way and go out towards the power line, well, I can hit those power lines. Then it's not going to be good. That's going to be huge. Not only is it going to, do damage to me, the machine, whatnot, but that main line feeds a lot of people down that way and wherever that line comes from. That main line's going to knock the power out for a lot of people. Now, if I have to go under those, it's not a big deal. I mean, it's intimidating at first. Trust me, I know what it was like. I was intimidated first time I went under power lines. But the big thing is to make sure that your high points are as low as they're going to get. So, like my boom, see that knuckle of my boom right there? It's as high as it's going to get right now. I can lift it up like this and get it up there. Okay, so way up there. I don't want to have that boom way up there. I want to stretch it right out. So I want to go, okay, I'm going to bring my boom down. And then I want to stretch it out. Like that. So now it's nice and low. And actually it's not high, not too much higher than the top of my cab. I'm gonna hit the windshield wipers here. But if that was up higher, there's a higher chance of me actually not necessarily making contact, but maybe there being an arc or anything like that hitting the top of the boom, and then, arcing here, arcing there, whatever. Because this is metal, metal conducts electricity. The other time, you gotta kind of worry about it. I've heard tell of it. I've never seen it, but if there's moisture in the air, that might be good for a lineman or somebody to answer how far away it will jump. But as far as us taking track harvesters, forwarders, this machine, whatever, going under power lines, it's not a big deal as long as you keep everything low. I've seen forwarders go underneath those power lines especially. They fill up, put a load on, lay the grapple on top of the load, the boom's up a little bit, and they're still fine. So if you were walking like a bulldozer, backhoe, anything like that, an excavator, as long as you have your boom down, tucked in, there's not as big a threat as you think. Yes, I know you think 10, 11,000 volts is a lot, and it's scary, but it's really not that big a deal, and we do have to cross underneath of them a fair amount. Like I said, keep things low. It's not going to be a big deal. Keep the trees falling inward, not towards the lines. Keep them away from the lines, and try to keep your machine over further so you can get a good pull on the tree or everything, so it's not going to come back and fall the other way or anything. Other than that, it's not that difficult. It does get intimidating first for anybody that's new, but if you've been around them, you know what to do. You're definitely not going to play it stupid. Be very safe. If you have any questions, ask your power commission, ask your supervisor. Sometimes there might be, waterways, or there's a tree leaning over. You don't really know what you're going to be able to do with it. Let's say you got a larger hardwood that may be uprooted, is leaning towards the power lines. You and your supervisor should obviously discuss it. And if the power commission needs to be contacted to remove it or something like that, then they have to do that too. There's never an issue. They always will come out. They'd rather that than have a huge power outage. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about that, you can throw them in the comments. I hope that answered a few questions. I've had a few of those comments lately and a few questions private message to me about power lines. The other power lines out by the road are the same thing. They're low voltage, 120 volt, whatever, that goes residentially. Keep everything tucked down. Remember, when you're driving on a float on the pavement, you're going underneath of them, and you're only within a few feet from those. So you really don't have a whole lot of, you know, a lot of concern there, and it's not jumping voltage down and hitting your boom, and you're close then. So anyway, I thought I'd make a quick video. It's definitely something you come across in the woods, especially with the main line. And I can see from the look of it here, they've been trying to keep things back so there's no power outages from like windstorms or snowstorms, blizzards, stuff like that. And it's starting to look pretty clear here. So yeah, you guys have a good day. Stay safe out there, and watch the lines.